everyone, and welcome to Edge-CGI. My name is Eugene, and this is part 3 in Alien Creature Design tutorial series. In this part, we're gonna grab the passes that we rendered out in the previous video, head into Photoshop, and then composite those passes for the final quality image. Alright, let's go! Here we are. Let's load our passes here. Ambient occlusion pass, clown pass, main pass, matte pass, and gloss. There it is. Okay, let's drag them here. Here's our passes. They're opened in different windows, so let's stack them on top of each other. Here's our main pass, our matte pass. Let's just select this entire area here. Copy, paste this. Okay, now put this one, Control C, Control V, close this tab now. Now put the gloss. Alright, let's close this tab here. And now ambient occlusion. Okay, there it is. Select this entire area here, paste it, and close the tab. Alright, so here we are with our main pass window. There's our passes here. Now before we start, let's unlock the background by clicking this lock button here and then selecting all these layers except for maybe clown pass. Okay, so we select them and add them to the group. Okay, now the clown pass is on top and it's outside of the group. Now we can use this to select things easily. Go to select color range and just shift color pick all the areas that you kind of included in the selection. Click OK. And you can see the outline, selection outline here now. We can add layer mask to group with the selection enabled, and it will create layer mask based on that selection. And you instantly you can see if you disable the clown pass now that the entire group is isolated. So I've added another layer, just filled it with black for the background here, and we can start tweaking our layers here. So here's our matte layer, and I'll create a layer mask for this one, and this is a kind of neat non-destructive way. Just select this layer mask now, make sure to select the layer mask and not the layer, then fill it with dark, and you can see that it kind of disappeared. Now the entire layer effect has disappeared. Now select some kind of brush here. I prefer textured brushes for this kind of work. Okay. And now paint the layer mask with white, and that will kind of paint out the effect, or rather paint in the effect of the layer. As you can see, I'm kind of just painting in the area around the mouth because I want this more matte for now. Here in the shell, you know. And the cool thing about this is that if you don't like something that you've made some changes, you can always paint black and get the effect back out. Okay, so black kind of emits it, white makes it visible. Okay, so here we can click it on and off to see the difference here, and let's paint out a bit more areas here. It's way better than erasing because you can always delete layer mask and redo it if you want to. Now with gloss, let's change the blending mode to let's change it to lighten or screen. Okay, screen will do, I guess. Now layer mask again, fill it with black. Okay, select some brush, make it white, and start painting in with white, and where you paint with white, the gloss will come out. Now I want some more gloss here in shell. Here at the rim light, kind of make it pop a bit more. Okay, around the mouth, obviously, around the eyes. Okay, these are like generally wet areas, kind of trying to push that glossiness around those duct-like tubes in his mouth and in his ear, the back of his head, where all the like weird compressed back organs are located. Here around the nose. Kind of want to make him feel like he's amphibic, or like, you know, get more water in there. Okay, lips. Just kind of painting back and forth with white and black to get the effect on screen, and then to maybe erase some of the unwanted erase some unwanted gloss there. Okay. Okay, so here maybe some, yeah, especially I'm kind of trying to push it a bit here on the throat. This compressed back kind of looks dull for now. I want this to be more, I don't know, to be more visible, to kind of have more attention to this. All right. Okay, so here's a new adjustment layer, levels, and you can only apply it to the layer underneath if you control click it. There's a little arrow like 90-degree arrow button here, and this means that it's clipped to the layer below, and you can only now it will only affect the layer that it's clipped to. Here I kind of tweak the levels a bit because I want this the whole gloss to be more contrasty and kind of make it feel a little more wet, you know, moist. Okay, let's paint out some of those glossy speculars here, because since we've applied our levels, it's a bit too much now. And maybe paint some of them back in, especially in the eyes. I'm kind of trying to push the wetness of the eyes here. Okay, just adding moist here and there. As you can see, I'm still kind of trying to push those back in, and you know, painting in and out the black and white. Kind of being a bit spontaneous here. I don't know, making adjustments as I go. Okay, I'll flip the canvas to see, kind of look at it from a new angle. Kind of good practice. Really, you should really do it, because it kind of immediately enables you to spot more, spot all the things that you might have missed, all the mistakes you might have done. Okay, I really want to focus here on the face, because eventually some of his chest might get cropped out. But the face is like a focus area for now, for us here, and really want to detail that out. Okay, some different textures here, texture brushes. All right. It really takes me a while, really, to kind of achieve the wetness look that I want. Okay. Smaller brush size for those ducts here. I'm trying to be careful with those. And you know, as a general rule of thumb, with like broader areas, go with broader brush. With the more like detailed compressed areas, go with the smaller brush. Well, that's pretty obvious, I guess. Okay. So maybe notice how I'm painting with black and with white here. Really like pushing the border, rim light border here. Okay, some on top. And I'm not even painting, I'm just painting layer masks here, really. Alright, so now for the ambient occlusion. Change the color, change the mode to multiply here. As you can see, it only gets darker where the image, where the pass is dark. Do the same thing. Fill the layer mask with black and paint with white on the layer mask, and where the white is, where you paint with white, it gets darker. which may be kind of counterintuitive a bit, but you know, that's how it is in Photoshop. So here I'm painting in the areas that I want more ambient occlusion happening, where I kind of, especially here with this back here where a lot of folds are in the ear, around the eye where the lips are, and trying to kind of, you can see I'm clicking it on and off, kind of see the effect it makes here around the eyes. All the areas I kind of want to separate and push, I paint ambient occlusion in there. Some more ambient occlusion here on the ducts around the mouth. It kind of helps to bring some of those details up front, especially since subsurface scattering materials or any translucent materials that involve like subsurface scattering kind of loses the details, even if you punch them in with normal maps or even displacement maps and other rendering engines. You know, all the I mean, the effect itself, it kind of loses the details. The idea behind it is losing the details. Okay, so how about we tweak the background a bit? Just grab some wider brush here and do some, I don't know, some shapes. I sample the light kind of color that the light creates on the figure here, and kind of imitate maybe where the light is coming from. So it's just you know, one of those banal cold, warm lighting contrasts. Just filling the background with some of that. It looks kind of crappy right now, but that's okay. We're going to blur that in a second there. I'll filter is blur and blur those guys out. Just tweak the radius a bit to make okay, step back here so we can you know, just it's kind of good to have a background that is not black and has something going on there, even if it's blurred out, because it kind of helps separating things from one another. Okay, so this guy kind of looks like he pops from the background for now. So I guess you could just use some minor tweakings here where the shoulder is, because we don't want those bright areas of the shoulder and background touching too much. It kind of still indicate that the light source is there. Okay. So here I'm creating new adjustment layer curves, and I'm setting it on top of all the other layers, and just brighten the whole thing a bit, just a tiny little bit. Don't, with curves, you don't want to use them too much. You don't want to make the curve really bend. You want to just tweak it a little bit for a more natural effect, for like color grading film look. I have another curves adjustment layer. Now let's go with per channel. If I start with blue, I want more blue in the shadows, so I just drag the lower left corner pin here, and in the middles here I want less blue. The green is opposite. I'm gonna kind of experimenting here. The cool thing about curves, I mean, it's almost like levels, but it allows you to kind of visually see a gamma curve of your entire image, and as well as histogram at the same time, and kind of change values of channels, but it highlights the shadows and midtones and everywhere in between those. Okay, now it kind of looks more filmy. Okay, let's create the eyes now. Here's a new layer. Set it below curves and switch the curves off for now. Okay, now we need to isolate this layer. Let's go back to the clown pass here. Use color range selection. Click the eyes. Click OK. Okay, and then create layer mask based on that selection. So now the eyes are isolated, and when that whatever we paint will only be visible in that area. Okay, so let's paint those eyes in. I kind of want to go with some brighter colors here, maybe some yellowish kind of eyes. Select the layer now, not the layer mask. That's important. Okay, and since the iris kind of curves in, we only want this to be visible where the light hits it. It's key to making natural looking eyes is making them fade into the shadow where they kind of touch the upper eyelid. Okay, kind of helps you sell the idea that the iris sits inside the cornea, somewhere deeper in the eye socket. Okay, let's make it a little bit saturated. This not really being too careful here. Okay. And texture, and then kind of we don't have any specular from our 3D rendering, so I'll just paint some specular on top of that. Just kind of help sell the eyes a little bit more. Just a couple of brush strokes here and there. You know, nothing too fancy. Okay, some Fresnel reflections there. Okay, let's sample the color and paint the other eye in. Kind of with following the same rule of kind of just making it darker where it hits, where it kind of touches the top lid. Alright, now let's enable the curves again to get our cinematic look back. New layer here, 50% gray. Here's a nice trick, by the way. So 50% gray, a new layer with normal blending mode. Add noise on top of it. Any amount would go. And then set it onto lighten or screen. I'll go with screen here and lower the opacity of the layer. Now the effect is really subtle, but it kind of adds this like camera noise or film noise here that kind of helps bind the image together. Now the other thing that we might do here is add chromatic aberration effect. Now some people do it with lens correction plugin in Photoshop. I kind of like doing it manually. So I copy merge all of our layers here a couple of times for green and blue aberrations respectively, and go with the first one, change levels of that layer, and set red output levels to 0, so no red, blue output levels to 0, no blue, only green. Here it is in the preview window, you can see it's green. Now for the second one we kind of set red output levels to 0 again and green output levels to 0 again. Now we'll make it blue. Okay, now both layers need to be on lighten blending mode. Okay, now let's select the first one, the green one. Either hit V or select this move instrument here. Alright, so I press left arrow on this one to shift it left, and with this one I press right arrow a couple of times to shift it right. You can do it in any order you want. You can flip it if you want. Okay, so now let's group those guys. And we might want to move the noise layer on top of those. Now here's another trick that kind of helps push the details a bit more further. If you copy merge all the layers now, including the chromatic aberration, and then go to filter, stylize, emboss here, and with height of 1, angle minus 90, and amount of 500, click OK. Now we have this ugly thing here, and then we set it to overlay. You can see it kind of pushes the details, almost working like a bump map, would in a 3D application. Alright, so let's tweak layer opacity here to kind of fit your needs. Set it to maybe 50 or 60 here. So we're almost there once we find suitable opacity for the layer, we're there. And the image is ready to be published online. Okay, here's the final result. I hope you find this tutorial informative. And thanks for watching Edge-CGI. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Bye!